Hello and welcome. Today, we are diving deep into a single Google update that, and I'm not exaggerating here, completely rewrote the rules of the internet. It's called Penguin, and it was the algorithm that brought some serious law and order to the Wild West of online search.
Right off the bat, I know what you're thinking. A penguin? What on earth does a penguin have to do with SEO? It sounds totally random, I get it. But stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll see exactly how this digital penguin became one of the most powerful forces online. Let's get into it.
Okay, so first we gotta set the scene. Let's rewind the clock to before 2012. The internet was a very different place. It really was like the Wild West. And honestly, Google's search results, they weren't always the most trustworthy.
And yeah, tricked is absolutely the perfect word for it. You had all these low-quality websites using all sorts of sneaky, manipulative methods to game the system and shoot to the top of the search results. And what that meant for us, the users, is that the genuinely good, high-quality sites were getting buried. We'd end up clicking on links that were just spammy or totally unhelpful. It all boiled down to this. Google had a massive spam problem. The two main villains of the story were link schemes, which is basically creating fake popularity with tons of garbage links, and keyword stuffing, which is, well, it's exactly as clunky as it sounds. These tactics were just wrecking the user experience, and Google knew it had to do something big to fix it. And that is when our hero rides into town. To clean up this mess, Google unleashed a brand new algorithm. Think of it like a new sheriff, ready to restore order and reward quality. You might want to circle this date on your calendar, April 24th, 2012. This is the day Penguin arrived. Its mission was simple but incredibly powerful. Reward the good guys, the websites with great content, and punish the ones using all those spammy tricks. And the impact was immediate. The first rollout hit over 3% of all English search queries. That is huge.
But Penguin wasn't a one-and-done deal. Oh no, it evolved. It started out as this big filter that would run every so often, but it got smarter and more sophisticated over the years. Then in 2016, Penguin 4.0 dropped, and it became a permanent, real-time part of Google's main algorithm. And that, as we'll see, changed everything.
So how did this thing actually work? What was it looking for, and what happened when a site got caught? Let's break down this digital showdown.
So Penguin had a most wanted list, and right at the top were these two big offenders. Link schemes were all about faking importance by buying or building links from totally irrelevant, low-quality sites. And keyword stuffing was, just jamming a page with so many keywords that it was basically unreadable for an actual human. To really picture a link scheme, just imagine an insurance company paying some random blogger to put a link in an article about, dog grooming. The link is totally out of place, right? Penguin was designed to see right through that kind of nonsense.
And keyword stuffing. Just listen to how unnatural this sounds. It's so robotic. The goal here clearly wasn't to help a reader. It was just to repeat Denver locksmith over and over and over to try and trick the algorithm. Penguin was basically built to say, nope, not going to work anymore.
So, what happened when Penguin caught you red-handed? Well, the result was often a sudden, steep, and absolutely devastating drop in your traffic from Google. One day you're ranking on page 1, and the next day, poof, you've vanished.
Now here's a really critical distinction. A manual penalty is when an actual human being at Google flags your specific site for being spammy. The Penguin penalty, though, was algorithmic. It was an automated filter that applied the same rules to everybody. There was no person you could plead your case to. You were just caught by the system.
But getting hit by Penguin wasn't necessarily a death sentence. It was tough, for sure, but there was a path to recovery. It just required a lot of hard work and a real commitment to, cleaning up your act. And this is the key difference. With a manual penalty, you could fix your site and then submit what's called a reconsideration request. With Penguin, there was no request button. The only way to earn forgiveness was to actually fix the problems on your site so that the next time Google's algorithm came around, it would see that you changed your ways.
So how did you do it? The recovery process pretty much boiled down to these 3 steps. First, you had to get rid of any of those unnatural links that you had control over. Second, for the spammy links you couldn't control, you had to use Google's disavow tool, which is basically you telling Google, hey, ignore those links, they're not for me. And third, you had to go back and rewrite your content to sound natural, like a human wrote it, not a keyword-obsessed robot.
And that brings us to today, because the early days of Penguin were about these periodic updates and frantic recoveries. But now
Now we live in a world where Penguin is the constant, everyday law of the land.
Remember that 2016 update I mentioned? This is why it was such a game changer. Penguin is no longer a separate filter that runs every few months. It's baked right into Google's core algorithm. That means it is always watching, always evaluating links and content in real time. Good changes can get rewarded faster, which is great, but spammy tactics can get you penalized almost instantly.
So what does this all mean for you? It means the era of trying to trick Google is well and truly over. To succeed now, you have to play by the new rules. That means earning good, high-quality links by creating amazing content. It means using keywords naturally. It means keeping an eye on who's linking to you. And most of all, it means focusing on providing real value to your audience, not just trying to game an algorithm.
And that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. In a world where Penguin is always watching, the only strategy that works long-term is authenticity. It's not about finding the next loophole, it's about actually deserving to be number one. Thanks for tuning in.